an extravagant ceremony in a church with a big white dress and formal clothing worn by all. That is the traditional symbol of marriage, but recently the concept has gone modern. Now you can hear progressively crazier stories in which people hold their weddings on a mountaintop in ski gear, in Vegas with ripped jeans, even underwater. Along with the evolution of marriage methods, the term itself, marriage, may be evolving too. Many different groups now battle either for or against alteration to the term. What is marriage?
That marriage historically has been recognized as that very special union between the man and a woman.
However, this definition fails to recognize those that don't go by the traditional marriage standards.
Well, the prohibition against same-sex marriage is basically the denial of the civil right. Same-sex couples are being denied the right to marry based on the fact that they are gay and lesbians.
In the 21st century, the battle is centered around marriage, with homosexuals trying to win the more meaningful, secure right to be legally recognized as a married couple.
But gay marriage, it's not a civil right in the sense that anyone can simply decide to whom they want to be married, because there are certain relationships that are not for the good of society.
Along with the emotional benefits, gays and lesbians are also after the economic bonuses that marriage provides to lawfully wedded heterosexual couples.
Woman. Domestic partnerships and civil unions are not recognized by the federal government, and the Defense of Marriage Act means that committed gay and lesbian couples are denied more than 1,000 federal rights that heterosexual couples get.
In a medical emergency, being able to say, that's my husband, that's my wife, and just being able to walk into the hospital without people asking questions or demanding to see some kind of paperwork.
How they take care of each other once they're old and ill.
Being able to file joint tax returns as a married couple.
How that affects how they care for their children when their children are ill.
If there's survivor benefits, if your partner dies.
Can the other spouse retain custody of the children?
When you're not married, you get, significantly taxed if you inherit property.
All sorts of little things that other people don't think about that, we all take for granted.
What's one of the big cases right now that's going up through the courts is that a New York couple who is married in New York, but it's not recognized by federal law because of the Defense of Marriage Act. She had to pay, an enormous amount of tax on the property when her partner died. And
if marriage is defined by a male and a female, and the benefits of being married, being in a relationship with a male and a female, then I can't tell someone else. Those benefits are for that particular group.
I had one couple that had been together 50-something years, and one of the spouses was in his 80s and was deathly ill, and the other partner knew that if he died the next day, he would be out on the streets.
However, supporters have to deal with the Defense of Marriage Act, or DOMA, before they can reach this goal. Originally passed in 1996, DOMA is a federal law that gives states the rights to refuse recognition of same-sex marriage approved by another state.
I think that repealing the Defense of Marriage Act is going to be on the top of the agenda for the LGBT movement.
It would contain what an individual state would do, but it wouldn't become the law of the land at the federal level. And yeah, so for that reason, the church has been supportive of the Defense of Marriage Act.
Many people of faith are deeply against the idea of same-sex marriage because of their church teachings and the disapproval of their deity.
I don't believe same-sex marriage should be considered family. They're not even, I don't think it's even legal marriages, because the Bible states between man and woman, and all who participate in homosexuality of any kind will not inherit the kingdom of heaven.
God is perfect, and He did not create gay people. If anything that is not good, God did not create. Scripture clearly defines, as in Leviticus 18:22 says, you should not lie with a male as one lies with a female. It is an abomination. So
I think a lot of it is fear of the unknown. I think a lot of us are just taught from the time that we're little that this is something that's taboo.
When when you define marriage as being between two men and two women, what you're doing is you are removing from the very definition of marriage that thing that the state first honored and recognized in the first place.
But when it comes to marriage, they feel like by letting same-sex couples marry, somehow it would take away something from their marriage. It would sort of diminish the institution of marriage.
Well, I think it certainly will take away some of that uniqueness of it, just by, if it were to be redefined at the federal level.
Many people are concerned about how gay marriage will affect the meaning of family. Those worried are stating that the future generations of children will never know what it would be like to have a traditional family with just one dad and one mom.
Kids will grow up not understanding first themselves, their purpose in life, being a father, being a mother. They will grow up not knowing two dads or two moms. So the institution of family wouldn't exist as God created it.
That if, suddenly same-sex marriage is a law of the land, they're not going to know how to talk to their kids about it. Some people think their kids are going to be more likely to be gay, as if...
Recently, the question has gone political. This year's election would go down in history as the first in which same-sex marriage was legalized.
We had four, I don't know if you probably know this, but in the past 21 or so times, the question of marriage has been put to a public vote at the ballot box. We've never won. And it was just this year, for the first time, we had good outcome in all 4 states. So that's historic.
However, those determined to keep the institution of marriage unchanged were far from happy.
It disappointed me a lot, because what it did, in some cases, some things that they voted on for go against my own beliefs. What am I to do? Move to Mercury? Move to Mars? No, I'm to I don't have to accept it, or in the sense of live by what the law constitutes, but I do have to respect it.
The question of same-sex marriage will remain open for those who pursue it. Although the future is unknown, it is obvious that the new generation is more familiar with the issue and will have a strong influence on how the question plays out in the future.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. No, I'm undecided.
Soon, it wouldn't be surprising if there was news of couples being wed on the moon, not to mention 2 humans of the same gender being married.